Hello everyone, welcome back to VLSI Simplified. So in today's session, we are going to discuss some of the most commonly asked interview questions along with their solution. These questions are practical, often asked in real interviews and will help you feel more confident in your preparation. So let's get started. One of the classic interview questions is to write a 4 into 1 multiplexer. Here, you may be asked to implement it using assign or using a case statement inside an always block. Both are correct, but the difference is that assign is used for continuous combinational logic, while the always block gives flexibility for more complex design. In interviews, the main point is to show you know both approaches. Approach is the main thing. Another very common question is the D flip-flop with reset. Here you should know both asynchronous reset and synchronous reset. Async reset respond immediately when reset is applied, while sync reset only respond on a clock edge. Interviewer often asks this to test if you understand reset strategies in real chips. Reusable code is very important in RTL design. That's why parameterized modules are a favorite question. For example, an AND bit adder with a parameter width. This show you know how to make designs scalable and reusable across projects. This one is super important, blocking versus non-blocking assignment. Blocking. Execute statements one after the other, like in software. Non-blocking. Execute in parallel, which is what we want in sequential circuits. A common pitfall is using inside always at the rate posage clock that can create race condition. So in interviews, make sure you emphasize use non-blocking for sequential and blocking for combinational logic. Latch interface. Here's a tricky one. Accidental latch interference. If you write code like this, always at the rate and in bracket star if enable q equals to d. You are unintentionally creating a latch because there is no else condition. To avoid this, always give a default assignment or cover all branches. This show interviewer you understand synthesis behavior. Another favorite is the clock divider. Divide by 2 is simple, just toggle a clock. But divide by 3 or odd number usually needs a small FSM or counter. Interviewer check if you can write correct logic and also think about clocking issues in STA. Counter are very important and very common in design. You may be asked to write a 4-bit synchronous counter with reset. Then they may follow up how to modify it for a down counter or even a gray counter. Here, your coding style and clarity are important. In many interviews, you will be asked to model a simple memory. For example, a 16 into 8 memory. You should show how to declare memory using reg arrays, how to write with clock always block, and how to read using combinational logic. This tells interviewer you are comfortable with Verilog memory coding. A very practical question, clock domain crossing. If you don't synchronize, you get metastability issues, right? So the correct way is to use a two flip-flop synchronizer. Just showing the two flop code can impress the interviewer because it proves You understand real world design issues. Finally, the classic FSM question. For example, a three-state FSM with ideal, load and done states. You should know how to write it using case and also mention state encoding, binary versus one hot. If you explain both, you will stand out.